Make way, G1 fans, for the mighty Thor in the new Wave 1 Avengers series of Marvel Legends. And might I add, just in time for the Age of Ultron, soon to be released in May. Very, very excited for this film because I appreciate a villain who can make a hero tremble. Let's examine the box for a quick overview and then turn our attention to a brief origin of Thor. Now this is the standard packaging. You got the Avengers, got Thor right there looking badass, then you got Marvel Legends Infinite Series Thor, got the little Avengers logo, which is actually different from the other boxes. There is an Avenger logo on the top as well, and if we flip this around, we see all the figures needed to build Odin and or King Thor right there on the left. Pretty sweet, guys. This wave is really impressive so far. If you'd like to read that, go ahead and pause that now. But you know, the only thing that can keep Thor at bay is Jane Foster, maybe. So let's set him free to seek her out, and in doing so, examine him for flaws like the Spartans examine their young, and if he fails, toss him from the cliffs. The mighty Thor, born of Asgardian blood and deity of thunder, first appears in Journey into Mystery number 83. Wielding his enchanted hammer, only he is worthy to carry. Thor bursts out with powers such as flight, weather manipulation, and superhuman strength. The hammer allows him to teleport through dimensions and allows him to control electricity. Being one of the founding members of the Avengers, Thor takes his place amongst the gods as a peacekeeper and is only allegiant to his father, Odin.
Yes, upon initial inspection, the Asgardian possesses a sturdy frame and suggests a strong bloodline, thus spared from abortion.
Thank you, 2012 Marvel Legends Thor. And standing next to his predecessor, they both come in at about 8 inches, just maybe a hair under. Man, I wish we could all claim that, right? So next, let's get into his sculpt and articulation. And first things first, let's go ahead and start with the piece that this Thor comes with. Now this is the right leg of Sir Odin and or King Thor, if you'd like. Very nice. It's got a nice wash over that silver. It looks good so far. It's got the double jointed knee bend. It does have ankle pivot and up and down on the foot. Also the peg hole in the bottom of the feet on that one. So that's really cool. Can't wait to see the rest. It's just a leg though, right? Let's throw this aside and keep moving on to Thor now. He's got a new sculpt on his head, and I really liked the expression he has on his face. He looks awesome. The detail on this helmet and that shininess just really sells it for me. I really dig it. He's got a nice little wash on that head there, as you can see in the light. Maybe you can catch some of that black shadowing and a wash there on the helmet. Looks very cool. His articulation is little to none. He goes left and right about that far. No up and down and no side to side motion on the head. Unfortunate there, but still cool. He does come with this flap back here that is kind of rubberized. It doesn't really do anything, but it looks cool. So moving on into his shoulder area. Now, I like these fasteners. They look good and detailed. I like that on the cape. Down into his flesh-toned arms, which are very impressive from the last wave. I really like these flesh tones over the last wave of the blue metallic arms. It's just a little bit more comic accurate. So I really did like that. The articulation, he does move up and down. He does rotate 360. I'm just not going to show you because it's very stiff here. Maybe when I heat it up, I can move him around some more. So he does have the upper bicep swivel as well. And he does have a single jointed elbow bend, which barely 90 degrees, not even quite 90 degrees, but it does bend up a bit. He does have full wrist rotation all the way around and a hinge that he is on as well. Now this accessory comes with is very cool. This sword is detailed pretty nicely. I wish they would have done some extra with it, but it does look okay. It's kind of a flat gray, but it does look cool, and I'm glad they added it to this figure, so very happy with that as well. Moving down into his other weapon of choice, of course, the main weapon is the hammer, and it looks just very similar to the other Marvel Legends Wave Thor's hammer, so there's no differences there. It's got a little tassel there on the bottom so you can hang it from a belt. Pretty cool. Both arms are the same in articulation. The chest looks nice. He does have ab crunch to the front and to the back just a little bit, and some swivel in his waist area. This little piece right here is movable. You can move it up and down a bit. It looks pretty good. He's on a T-joint there, so he's got his legs that move out. They kick forward a bit, and they kick back a bit as well. Also, now down into this, he has an upper leg swivel as well, but down into his knee, when you got that double joint bend there, looks really good, but they didn't fix this gap that was on the other Thor as well, which I'm kind of disappointed about. I wish they would have fixed that and made that look a little better. But moving on into his feet. Now, he doesn't have any calf rotation, but he does have his feet move up and down, and they do not have ankle pivot, so that is a bummer on this one. He does have the peg holes in the bottom of his feet. They do rotate all the way around if you want them to, but there's just no ankle pivot there, so that's a bummer. I do like the fact that they added this silver paint. That looks very nice on his legs. I really dig that addition. That really makes him pop. It makes him look really good. Now on his cape, it's the same sculpt as the 2012 Marvel Legends, but they added a little shadowing effect to it. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some shadowing effect on that red that looks better than the prior cape on the 2012 Thor, as far as I'm concerned. So really, so far, he's a great looking figure. I'm not going to knock him at all, and I'm probably going to be using him in my collection from here on out. So I do like this guy. Let's go ahead and jump into the next piece, get into his grading, and then we'll show you a nice, funny skit to end the day. And for the God of Thunder's appearance, I'm going to go ahead and give him a solid 8. He looks a lot better than a lot of the Thors that have been released recently, so he definitely deserves an 8 for his appearance. Now into Thor's articulation. Now there's a couple areas of big concern I had with this guy, and I'll just talk about a few of them. Now the main one is that he's on a T-joint, so his legs spread way apart, but he has no ankle pivot, so there's no way to compensate for that. That is probably the #1 problem on his articulation, as well as his arms. He doesn't have the double jointed elbows, which was really a bummer for me. I really wanted to get him into some sweet poses, and his head does not move around much either. So in 3 areas there, he was really lacking with articulation, but there is some really good pieces of articulation that they put on this guy that I do believe work pretty well for standard posing. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a 6 on articulation. Now into Thor's durability. Now initially I was going to give him a little lower grade, but I started thinking about it, and as I articulated him, he does feel really solid. If you have to take a hairdryer to him to bend him around a bit, I mean, when haven't you done that on a figure that's been a little tight in the joints? So, you know, on durability I was going to go with a 6, but I jumped it up 1 to a 7 just because he is a very solid figure, and I don't think that he'd be easily broken unless you were just completely careless with this guy. So 7 in durability. And right on into Thor's collectability. Now, there are so many different versions of Thor out there, so collectability is going to be a little low on this guy, but, you know, he's still one of the better looking figures of his wave. So for collectability, I'm going to go ahead and just give him a 6. I would give him a little lower because there's so many different versions, but I just really, really like this version of Thor. So 6 it is on collectability. And for the final overall score, Thor will get a 6.75. And as we come to yet another conclusion, we learn a valuable lesson of the day. The hammer is mightier than the sword. Again, thanks for viewing our channel, and don't forget the most crucial step and subscribe for more Marvel Legends Avengers reviews. All hail Ultron! Remember, you can get this figure and many more at our new website, www.g1toys.com. So tell a friend, tell an army to relinquish their collecting anxieties and channel their inner toys.
You know, I am the only Thor that has won the hearts of G1 fans thus far. What makes you think you can take my place, you arrogant, blooming imposter? The simple concept of change, Thor 1, and in fact, you can see my protruding biceps doesn't hurt. I say, we need an impartial jury that can decide the victor. I know, we can get Ultron to decide. He hates us both. A splendid choice. You there, Ultron! We need you to make an unbiased choice on who gets to make an appearance in these videos. What say you?
I know you're good people. I know you mean well. But you just didn't think it through. There is only one path to success. More subscribers.
I think I'm beginning to like this heap of rubbish. Yes, change is a good point, but ask yourself, who here is more worthy, Ultron?
Worthy? How could you be worthy? You're both idiots. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. There's only one path to more subscribers. Partial nudity. And this guy has you beat, 2012 Thor.
I'll be a son of a...